Everybody out in Facebook land, I tried to use my laptop to go live. It made things more complicated, so I'm just here on my phone so I can make it happen. I want to talk to you real quick about a couple tips for you to invest safely in real estate. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little shocked that I even have to put a video out there because most of the stuff is common sense, but I'll be brief. Bear with me. First of all, stop trusting the people that are selling you the real estate to give you accurate information. Know this. When you have something for sale, your job, whether you're the wholesaler, the broker, whatever, is to portray the property in its most positive light. That's what you do. That's just life, guys. We can get all social justice warrior on us and say, oh, well, they should say this and they should. No, that's not reality. The reality is if it's for sale, you can't expect the wholesaler or the broker to go, oh, look over here, there's wood rot. It's never going to happen, so stop expecting it, okay? Just understand that. That means you have to do your own due diligence. When it comes to inspection, get a home inspection. It's not rocket science, guys. And if you're in the Tampa Bay area or anywhere else besides the Keys, probably a home inspection is only going to cost you a couple $100, maybe $500-$600, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on what market you're in. At the end of the day, guys, they're going to systematically, I don't care about anything else except for this, they are going to systematically go through the property. A home inspector with a brain anyway will go through the property and check off a list that you probably don't have access to. And they will check the boxes, check this, check that, check this, check the wiring, check the panels, looking for wood rot, how old is the roof, what permits have been done. These are things you need to know as an investor, okay? Understand that. Or just a regular homeowner. Stop thinking that the wholesaler is telling you the truth. Stop thinking that the whole truth, I should say. Stop thinking that the real estate agent is giving you was going to tell you all the negatives. Hell, the real estate agent probably doesn't know all the negatives, okay? They're not taught any of this stuff in real estate school, guys. I am a real estate agent. I've been an agent for over 20 years. And they don't teach home inspection as part of the real estate license program. So stop expecting to get it from your agents because they're not going to give it to you because they don't know it. Okay, they can't give you what they don't know. Okay, that said. Next, valuation. Stop trusting the wholesaler or the realtor that's selling it, the listing agent, to give you comps. If you come to one of my listings and ask me for comps on one of my listings, I'm going to give you the best ones I can find. Why? Because I'm a salesman and I'm not an idiot. That's why. That doesn't make me dishonest. I'm not going to say, oh, look over here. This dump sold. You bet you could probably beat my seller up and get it for better. You're never going to have that conversation with me because if I'm the listing agent, I want to get top dollar for my client. Okay, that's just how we roll. At least that's how you roll if you're a good agent. Same thing if you're a wholesaler. Wholesalers, first of all, let's understand this. There was a time that a wholesaler's job, their whole purpose in life was to go out and get a good deal for buyers because they were usually skilled negotiators that would go out and negotiate a great deal for a buyer, investor buyer, whatever, rehabber. Those days are gone. You know why? Those days are gone because too many people got lazy and trusted wholesalers to go out and do their work. And wholesalers, not being stupid, were like, ooh, they're going to pay full price anyway because I have the word wholesaler underneath my name. So they automatically know that you're going to pay whatever it costs because CNN says that the market's hot. So don't get sucked into the lie. Understand that all the information, the comps, everything, the ARV, whatever the hell else they come up with, is all garbage. Once you understand that, you'll be peaceful, you'll get centered, you'll feel so good about yourself. So just do that. You're like, okay, cool, thanks for the comps. And then throw them in the trash and go pull your own comps. If you're in a metropolitan area, if you're not out in the country somewhere, try to keep your comps within, let's say, a quarter mile or a half mile of where the subject property is. If you're looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, stop looking at comps that have 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, a 2-story with a pool on 5 acres, because that's not a comp, boys and girls. The best scenario is that you spend some money and have an appraisal done. Appraisals aren't going to cost you 20 grand, but if it costs you $500 to $1,000, let's say, if it's a typical 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 4-bedroom, 3-bath house in a metro area with lots of comps, an appraisal is going to cost you less than $1,000. Know this. An appraiser has in Florida anyway, has to complete 2,500 hours of OJT, on the job training, to learn in appraisal activities in order to be able to appraise property. Guys, I got to tell you, I've been a real estate agent for over 20 years, and I would be hard pressed to prove that I've got 2,500 hours focused exclusively on real estate valuation training. I don't think I have that much, and I've been doing it a long time. There's no doubt that I know what I'm talking about, and I am not as qualified as an appraiser. So, if you want a disinterested third party to give you an opinion of value that is probably more accurate than what your heart and feelings tell you, definitely more accurate than the listing agent or the wholesaler is going to tell you, then spend the money and get an appraisal. There's no dishonor. No one's going to make fun of you. You're still cool. I get appraisals all the time. I'm actually waiting for an appraisal. Yes, I'm having an appraisal on a property that we're under contract on here in Key West. Well, geez, Tyler, you've been doing this for 20 plus years. You should already know the valuation. You're right. Maybe I should, but I don't trust myself. Even after 20 years, I'm going to verify it with a disinterested third party. Why? Because that's logical, boys and girls. That's how I make sure I never overpay for a property. I'm going to get that appraisal. Also, that appraisal is going to help me accurately determine my exit strategy. Now, in the deal we're talking about, we're probably going to condoize it, turn it from guest houses, individual apartments over to condos, and then sell off the condos. That appraisal is going to give me the information I need to know to see if my hypothesis is accurate. If I can actually sell them for what I think I can sell them for. That's somebody else, not me, coming in, looking over my shoulder and saying, either Tyler, you're an idiot, try again, or Tyler, you're a friggin' genius. That's probably what they'll say, right? And here's proof. Awesome. Now, what did I create for myself? A marketing tool. Okay, a marketing tool, which means I can use that appraisal to justify my asking price down the road, right? That's a disinterested third party, somebody that has a lot more training specifically in appraisal than Tyler does, even though I've been doing it 20 years. Doesn't matter. The licensed appraiser is simply better at it than I am. I embraced that 15 years ago. So embrace that. Don't buy things without an inspection, ever. Don't buy a car without an inspection. Don't buy a house, a trailer, doesn't matter. Unless you are an experienced investor and you've flipped 500 houses, and I frankly have never met anybody that's flipped 500 houses themselves. That's a lie. That's only for people that want to get on podcasts. But if you're a regular person like me, I, to this day, 20 plus years experience, still get a home inspection. Why? Because I know there's things that I can't see, things that I know the listing agent or the wholesaler, if I choose, bump my head and buy from one, that won't point out because that's not their job. You can argue me all you want, but they're not going to point out the negative. So I hire a licensed or a certified home inspector to crawl underneath the house, look up in the attic, pull the panel, look and make sure that the breakers aren't double tapped, all those things, because, hey, I got a lot of moving parts going on. Get an inspection. Whatever it costs, it's cheap as compared to the cost of not having an inspection. That I promise you. Lastly, do not get sucked into peer pressure. These wholesalers that make you come down to their office so that you are in their environment, that's a negotiating trick, guys. That whole thing is to get you guys nervous, freaked out, feel like the walls are coming in on you. You got to act now. If you don't you got to put down a non-refundable deposit to show you're a serious buyer. That's BS. Okay? Don't get yourself sucked into that on an investment property. Frankly, don't get yourself sucked into that, period. Instead, boys and girls, go get an appraisal, go get an inspection, and don't agree to non-refundable deposits, at least until after you've had the chance to have it inspected and hopefully had it appraised. Don't let them suck you into this. And don't sign a contract that's not written in plain English until you've read every single line on the contract, or hire an attorney. They charge a couple $100 an hour to read a contract and look for gotchas, okay? If you use the boilerplate state of Florida contract, if you're in Florida, an ethical attorney, I say that tongue in cheek, an ethical attorney, well, let me say this. If you use Sean Yesner, that's an ethical attorney, yesnerlaw.com. Sean's not going to charge you to review what's boilerplate in a contract that's been printed in there since it was reviewed by the Florida Bar and the Florida Real Estate Association. He is going to charge you to review the contract in its entirety, though, a set time. Whatever it is, it's worth it. And he's going to look at the clauses that are handwritten in there, probably not by an attorney, and make sure they don't disadvantage you some way. Guys, that's money well spent. Money well spent. Anytime I write a real estate contract, to this day, when terms get wonky, I automatically bring an attorney into the mix And if it's in Florida, it's Sean Yasner. Unless it's down here in Key West, then I may have a local attorney if it's something specific to Key West. But guys, I hope you found value in this. Just a couple tips to keep you out of hot water. We don't know when the market is going to change and it's going to become more of a buyer's type market. But right now it's absolutely a seller's market, and there are a lot of sharks in the water. Blood's in the water, and they're just waiting to take advantage of people that are hot to trot. You got to ask yourself, as Uncle Larry Hardbolt teaches us, are you going to die without this house? If the answer is no, then chill out, get an inspection, get an appraisal, read your contracts. Don't paint yourself into a corner. Guys, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.